Go to
Go to what?
inward journey. First quotation. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Where is the share?
Yes, should I share it from here?
No, I got. Why something else is coming?
Yes,
Most poorest. This one you remove.
yes,
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
Why has it come like this?
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Windows.
Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
And now go back.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om. Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam Swamiji.
Yeah. So before we ask the question what is to be shared, something that came up in our mind we would like to share first. On the 21st of July, our calendar says, that is the Guru Purnima day. So hereafter, let us try to do something more effective on those important days. There should be something by which we remember that day, In one of the quotations of Papa, he says, man's quest for happiness can end only by realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within himself. The sooner you realize, the better for you. Man's quest for happiness can end only by his realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within himself. The sooner you realize, the better for you. Repeat the name as a means to that end. You must still the mind and be free from the sense of duality. Know that you and the God you worship are one and the same. Transcend name, form, duality. There is then no otherness for you. Fear leaves you. Consciousness of the self dawns in you. You are liberated from the clutches of desire and ignorance, from the clutches of bondage, misery, pain, sorrow. This is the goal you have to reach. So what do we do? So the prompting comes now on 21st July, right from morning 6 to evening 6. We will try to engage ourselves in an inward journey. Trying to actualize the words, It may not be possible, agreed, but we are making an earnest effort. Yeah. Chumma jati. Leave it. If somebody wants to come, they can come. So man's quest for happiness can end only by his realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within oneself. So unknowingly, unwittingly, probably we have never applied our mind on this aspect. We may be doing sadhana, chanting his name, attending bhajans, hearing satsangs, going through some of the works. But is it leading to the happiness which is inside? Happiness means that fullness inside. So here is an opportunity given to us now on 21st July, morning 6 to evening 6. Everybody will be observing total silence. We will all assemble in a common place which is free from any type of disturbance in the ashram. Those visiting devotees or the person who are not mentally inclined to take part, they can have the usual program. No routine will be disturbed. But those in whom this intensity is there, okay, I've been doing so many things all these years, I must have a glimpse or a peep into his presence within me. So with that firm conviction, we will plug all our outgoing tendencies. The first one is speech. And then everybody may be wondering how to sit, no? 12 hours. Every hour we can get up. For 5 minutes we can go to the washroom or just have a stroll, something like that. 5 minutes. But nobody will talk to anybody. That means right from 6 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the evening, we are trying to dwell on the same topic. We are not going to allow the mind to wander here and there. So we employ any method that is okay for us. Any method. It can be mental chanting of Ram Nam. Ultimately, we are trying to watch. Another quotation. This book also will be given. Be a witness to all movements. Detach yourself from them and become the observer of them. Then you will realize that you are the eternal witness and the body is not yourself. Identification with the body will go and witness consciousness will be attained. Mostly you can practice it when you are in meditation. When you are active and moving about, it is difficult to maintain that consciousness. Many rules have to be observed for control of mind. Observance of silence is one of them. Who is observing silence? Let us try to find out. Sit silent, detach yourself from the mind, watch its activities. The watcher is the real you, the self-immortal. Another clue Papa is giving, Like that, the small book Inward Journey will be given to those who are taking part in it 2-3 days well in advance, so that they can go through whichever words with which we get aligned. Not that every word will take us there. There may be some expression of Papa which naturally get aligned with our thinking. There we try to concentrate. So in other words, it can be chanting of his name, thinking about his attributes.
What about reading? What about reading?
No reading.
No reading.
No reading. We will not open our mouth.
No, you can silently read. Silently we can read. Silently we'll read something.
No. No external prop.
Oh.
Before that we can go through all these things.
Oh.
That is on till 20th, those who are interested. This is a trial, we have no idea. There is a system called Vipassana that is going now all around, where 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, people sit. This was a technique revealed in India 2,500 years ago to heal the physical and mental problems. Because we are watching, we don't know what is the tool we have called the mind in us. We have no idea. As soon as the mind comes into force, it takes us for a ride. We hardly have any control over the mind. So this technique is, there are so many advanced courses in this. We are now just making a beginning. Later on, we will know one by one, even walking, even getting up, sitting down, everything consciously doing, by which the body is slowly released from the conditionings. Buddha Bhagavan said, even while you draw the water from the well, right from the moment the bucket or the pot, it goes and fills itself with the water. And then when you start lifting it, drawing the water, every second, consciously. What happens then, let us not now discuss. Let us go through that experience. That means we are training the mind. In spite of doing so many disciplines, we have still found that while the chanting is going on, the mind is going out. Or the chanting has not been able to make us to concentrate on the attributes. So that means some more fine-tuning is necessary, and now he has prompted through his various quotations that ultimately we have to watch. Many of you might be knowing that there are 4 types of inner approach according to Papa. First is we concentrate on the sound, mental. Suppose the mind refuses after 2 or 3 chanting. We bring any form representing or symbolizing this principle. Again, after a few minutes, the mind just goes out. I am unable to control. So third one, Papa says, where is it going? Is there any place where God is not? So let it go anywhere, bring it back with this dimension. Okay, this is also not possible. Then finally he said, just watch, let the mind go anywhere. So this process of watching the mind enables us to detach ourselves from the mind. And then the process of fine-tuning starts from that moment. We don't have to do anything. The moment the identification is cut off, that means I don't identify with my mind. I employ any of these 4 methods, and then finally I allow the mind to go wherever it wants to go. I just watch. And this watching process, Papa has assured us, it sets the whole thing all right. Suddenly the revelation comes, mind is not taking me, mind is not shaping me, mind is not dictating, mind is not conditioning me. But I am different from the mind. The watcher is the real you, the self-immortal. So we have to make somewhere, some beginning. So on 21st, being the Guru Purnima day, this is the fittest homage we can pay to our Guru. So our usual sharing of thoughts on the importance of all those things can happen on 20th, Saturday. We will have a special, all those things will be, so that will not be broken. But on 20th, we will not. 21st we will. 21st morning, 5:50, we assemble in a place here. Anybody who is coming here, those things will be attended to. For all practical purposes, the ashram routine will not be disturbed at all. But those of us in whom this prompting wells up, they will all assemble at 5:50 in the morning, and 10 minutes, some some introduction, and Mantra Swarup Ramnam for 1 or 2 or 3 minutes. That's all. Then we will all enter into silence. During that period, we will also ensure that we don't look at each other as far as possible. At one stage, they sit facing the wall. But that we don't want to do it. We will be sitting and there will be some plants or something like that, okay? But as far as possible, we will avoid the eye contact. And after 1 hour, suppose people who cannot sit on the floor for a longer time, they can have chairs. And every hour, if we feel like we can get up and spend about 5 minutes, again come back and sit. At 8 o'clock, we will have some fruits, dry fruits, lemon water, something like that. And at 12 or 12:30, we can have a simple food, not too much quantity also, something like vegetable rice, something small, 1 item or 2 items. And again at 4 o'clock, we will have some fruits and lemon water. At 6 o'clock, we can have a couple of chapatis and sabji. On the next day, we will not have any other talk on that day. On the next day, we will assemble, all of us will assemble, and try to recollect or to revisit the whole experience again. And to what extent it had helped us, what all we need to be done, based upon not somebody's telling. Each one will come out. We don't have to say, each one can write down. Yeah, that would be better. Each one can write down. Immediately after the 6 o'clock evening session, they can go. They will not talk to anybody. They will try to go back to their house or rooms and try to be in the same. The 12 hours experience cannot immediately get evaporated. So we try to settle down with the same experience and then note down whatever we have gone through. The purpose is, whether it should be read it out open or not necessary, but suppose there are some points on which it will be useful to everybody, we can definitely have. Or in other words, when we collect all these writings, we make a synopsis and then we say these are all some of the revelations that came out without informing or knowing the person. And if this comes successful, then next month, every month we may have some program, no? Even if we don't have, we can have it on a particular day in a particular month. Initially for 1 day, then it can be extended to 2 days. And then let us leave it to Papa how he takes us. We all remember the days in 68 when Puja Mataji herself was taking us to Papa's Samadhi Mandir and sitting there for half an hour. Because on those days, why half an hour, Throughout the day, Papa's Samadhi Mandir was silent. So whenever we come here, we spend a lot of time there. Apart from spending some time in Mataji's room, rest of the time we try to go there. Mentally we read, we take a small book, we read and try to contemplate upon it. Suppose we feel sleepy, we do the protection for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Again we sit. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So that facility was there till 1988. Somehow Papa took away that facility, and the present generation probably who are coming here have no idea at all about this inward journey. From 5 o'clock in the till there are so many outer activities. With the result, we were not able to travel, whereas we know from Papa's writings that during his sadhana period, he gave lot of importance for periodical solitude, that too for days together, and even he has resorted to water fast or one-time small meal. So Maun, water fast, solitude, All these things were the main pillars of his sadhana. So now that the prompting has come, many people may not be able to come for every day, we can understand that. Anyway, we are sending the circular on 1st of July through Awake as well as through Vision, yeah. And those of you who are in a position to travel, kindly inform us well in advance. Those who are coming from a far out distance, not that they should stay only for a day, they can also join for another day or 2-3 days, doesn't matter. And those who are not in a position to take travel, they can do it and they can also join us in their own place. In their home, they can have a room, 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock, the same thing. It will become far more effective also. Because this Vipassana movement has become a global movement now. Many ashram devotees have also attended. They are the most revered Goenka, to whom this idea welled up and made it, brought it out. Even today, in so many places these Vipassana centers are there. And he has never viewed it on a commercial basis. Just like ashram, it is purely run on voluntary donations.
Swamiji, she has done Vipassana. Yeah, twice.
So the effect is something, nobody can say unless we sustain it, no. Otherwise, if we take it as a program, no. But there won't be any loss. Whether profit is there, that depends upon how receptive we are. But it's a wonderful exercise by which we are watching the mind. And the first tangible gain is we are detaching ourselves from the mind. We are making use of the mind. Now the mind is making use of us. With taste, temperament, priorities, preferences, it takes us for a ride. That is how we slip into lethargy, we slip into cravings, infatuations, always in an imaginary world, totally disconnected with the reality. But here, the moment the detachment process comes, even after the program goes, that habit will stay with us, and we will suddenly become conscious of the greatest gift God has given our mind. Mind is an asset, provided we treat it as an asset. There is a beautiful article of Chidanji Maharaj that also will come during this. So that the mind, we are not condemning the mind. Mind is a wonderful thing that has been given to us. If the mind has not been given to us, what will be our fate? But the same mind, when it is not properly used, it makes us restless, it makes us unproductive, it makes us to slip into so many downpulling tendencies. So this is an attempt where we are trying to watch the mind and detach the mind. I will again read that particular word of Papa. Be a witness to all movements. Detach yourself from them, become the observer of them. Then you will realize that you are the eternal witness and the body is not yourself. Identification with the body will go and witness consciousness will be attained. Mostly you can practice it when you are in meditation. When you are active and moving about, it is difficult to maintain that consciousness. Many rules have to be observed for control of mind. Observance of silence is one of them. Who is observing silence? Let us find out. Sit silent, detach yourself from the mind, watch its activities. The watcher is the real you, the self immortal. Is it becoming clear?
Swamiji, clear. Somewhat, Swamiji.
Eh?
Somewhat clear.
Why is it?
Detached from the mind, Swami, that's a big problem, Swami.
Ah.
How to get detached from the mind
We
and
have to
body?
we have to do this again. We are not answering or questioning. We have to put ourselves on a process. The process should give us the outcome. So far, we have been reading, hearing, asking, reading. Everything goes at the intellectual level, mental level. With that, we have not really started. Now, here is an opportunity given to us where we try. It is something like when you come to ashram every day at the time of closing the morning session, we all chant Jajya Salihe Manajaya Maje Tyatya Salihe Nijarupa Tuje Mi Te Vito Mastakaja Tikani Te Te Tuje Sadguru Payatuni. Nice read, but has it gone deep into our mind? What is the meaning?
Mind is good.
Wherever my mind wanders, O Lord, there your eternal presence is felt. Where I bow my head in reverence, where I bow my head in reverence, there both your feet are there. Jajya stalihe manajaya maje tyatya stalihe nijarupa tuje mi tevito mastakacha tikani te te tuje sadguru payaduni. So this is one experiment, We are chanting. We are beautifully chanting in the set tune, and then we all get up, go. But the final Mataji put this final sloga because this is the ultimate thing we have to. So wherever I look, the moment I go after the Harati program, wherever my mind wanders, there your eternal presence is felt. Wherever I bow down, it must be your feet. So the question answer everything is like this, But actually, are we in a so immediately after the Arati? How many of us spend some time on these words? Not that we mean anything bad, not that we want to ignore, not that we want to disrespect, not that we don't want to understand, but it has not stuck to us. So now we have to set ourselves on a process by which something of it, percolates into our thinking system. Something. So I will intensely pray the moment I come out. I'm standing on a queue to offer my pranams to Papa Mataji Swamiji inside the shrine, and immediately I come out. The first object I come across, let me try this. First object. It can be a person, it can be an object, it can be a situation. I may fail. But every day, suppose immediately after hearing this, I must put this into practice. His eternal presence. For a fraction of a second, am I in a position to do it? Because Puji Mataji had set up everything for our sadhana. That is why she said the ashram is a school where you have come here to learn universal love and service. That means from expansion from me to we to him, that expansion. So all my thoughts, all my words, all my deeds should bear the stamp of this expansion. And that is why Mataji fixed up all this in such a beautiful form that one day at least we will start thinking about it. What is it that I am doing? So 21st July offers so such opportunity for us to go deep and rather than talking, hearing, we are trying to put ourselves on a process. And the process is to make use of this greatest gift, mind. So far, the mind has been taking us for a ride. Always it highlights its priorities, preferences, rights and wrongs. So many. And we go along with that. But today now Papa says you detach yourself. The word vipassana itself stands for that, watching. Initially when you think, what is that watching? We will just try how difficult it is. So instead of rushing up for a week or 3 or 4 days, Papa prompts us, try for a day initially. And if that day is where we get, something out of this, some clue, some abhyasam, some peep, it will not leave us. That is why we also suggest that immediately after 6 o'clock in the evening, after our evening meal, we can have a open walk, looking at the trees, plants, sky. Luckily in ashram there are so many such places are there. Each one will retire to oneself, spend some time, walk for some time, try to absorb, try to consolidate whatever we have been able to earn during the 12 hours. And then jot down, immediately go to the room, jot down their this thing with no name, and then give to the organizers. They will do the compiling, and synopsis will be presented the next day. And then let us see how often we can have this experiment. One more word is there. The first quotation. Man's quest for happiness can end only by his realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within oneself, within himself. The sooner you realize, the better for you. Repeat the name as a means to that end. Everybody is hearing.
Swamiji.
This is very important because we are chanting Ram Nam. Now the real purpose Papa is doing now. Man's quest for happiness can end only by his realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within himself. The sooner you realize, the better. Repeat the name as a means to that end. Repeat the name as a means to that end. You must still the mind and be free from the sense of duality. Stilling the mind means thoughts get at rest. It is the thought that separates me from the other. So that is why he said, you must still the mind and be free from the sense of duality. Know that you and the God you worship are one and the same. Transcend name, form and duality. There is then no otherness for you. Fear leaves you, consciousness of the self, capital S, dawns in you. You are liberated from the clutches of desire and ignorance, from the clutches of bondage, misery, pain and sorrow. This is the goal you have to reach. So repeat the name as a means to that end.
Swami,
Ah.
repeat the names
that needs to an end வந்து the three types of mantra. The third stage. அதுவா சாமி?
Anything, you are repeating the mantra, you can chant vocal, silent, mental. There is no fixed standard. Each one has to find out what is okay for us. We try, only by trying this method we will know which is okay for us. Papa, from his experience, says mental chanting will be far more efficacious. And I am not in a position to chant throughout. So there must be a link between me and my activities outside. This is very important. So this one-day program should enable me to become more dynamic, more productive, more creative. Because God, who has actuated my life, has kept so many things inside us which we have not opened up. All the potentialities, all the capabilities, all the creativities, everything He has when we come, he has got a purpose through us, and that is also there. But unless I make some move to open up, education is one of the methods to open up. Inward journey is another method to open up. So that God makes your body, mind, intellect equipment to blossom, the result of which is enjoyed by His creation. So you become dynamic. That is why if you find, probably many of you have heard about Vipassana sessions, people who are very much with the professional life, they take 10 days off and come then. It is not that free people go and attend. Everybody who is in the midst of activities, where they need a break, they want to understand each one may be deriving the benefit in their own way as God prompts them from within. So it is not a retired people they are going, no. Everybody who is active, they go there and spend. Because it is something like, you are going to a nature cure hospital and staying for 10 days and coming back, The only thing is, totally we are free from our routine activities for 10 days or 15 days. We have not reached that stage. So we will not jump with that idea. So we will try for one day. And if that one day gives us something, something to carry on, we will slowly stretch it. Anyway, there are about 7 days in a year, which normally we say important days. Papa's Sannyas Day, Papa's Jayanti Day, Samadhi Day, Mataji's Jayanti Day, Samadhi Day, Guru Purnima Day, Puja Swamiji's Jayanti Day, Samadhi Day. We can add some more. Even Mataji's Sannyas Day we can put. Like that, there are so many important things. The whole 12 months we can definitely have 12 days, one day per month. And let us see how it goes. Everybody starts enjoying it. Everybody feels that it is beneficial. And then if he wills, during our December program, we can have it for 2 or 3 or 4 days.
In the midst of the sanity and activities, it will be difficult for me.
I couldn't hear sound.
I cannot. Tell me.
In the midst of the family. In the midst of the family activities.
In the midst of family. If it is not possible for you to travel, you can be there at least for a few hours, though not for the full day.
I can maybe get up early in the morning.
You can. On that day, suppose there is a commitment, you will do all those things. Suppose you have to catch a flight, international flight. It leaves at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock. What do you do? You plan it well, when. So similarly, if there is a commitment on your part, you will somehow, one day only, you are getting apart. That itself is a big, what do you call, litmus test on us. Whether in the midst of everything, I am in a position to sit in a room, though not 12 hours, at least 6 hours, am I in a position to do that. It's a great achievement. Everyone who is now hearing this, I would personally request that either you come here for a day or have it in your own place. Whatever may be the odds, somewhere we have to make a beginning. Time is running out. Because this is the goal we have to reach. Just now we read out, you remember? Man's quest for happiness can end only by his realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within himself. The sooner you realize, the better for you. Repeat the name as a means to that end. You must still the mind and be free from the sense of duality. Know that you and the God that you worship are one and the same. Transcend name, form, and duality. Know you and the God. There is then no otherness for you. Fear leaves you, consciousness of the self dawns in you, and you are liberated from the clutches of desire and ignorance, from the clutches of bondage, misery, pain, and sorrow. This is the goal you have to reach. So when all of you get the awake in different languages or in vision, somewhere on the first itself, this will appear immediately even before the editor writes. Because very, very important. We are entering into a very, very crucial stage in our sadhana. Taking to inward journey with all seriousness, a little bit of self-denial. Because everything else we do that, along with that we were doing. But here an conscious attempt is made where we deny something, We deny our movements, our inputs, everything. Some self-denial, some self-imposed disciplines we are trying to. And make use of that facility to turn towards the factor which witnesses the mind.
Swamiji, can I say? So, like when we go for Vipassana, they give us certain rules. First is no mobile phones. Then second is that no eye contact also during that time. Third is that when you are doing, like when you get up from your seat, you have to imagine yourself to be Buddha and walk like not even an ant should be killed by your feet. So just bringing in the awareness that you are present with yourself at all the time. And in the 24 hours that you spend there, 11 hours are spent in meditation. So there is like you just come to one room and you're sitting there and you are meditating. Initially it's a bit difficult, and third day mostly, third or fourth day is when
you settle yourself.
Yes.
Resistance will be there,
Yes, people would either just want to run away or they would overcome and then they would.
We are not rushing with any of those guidelines now, because we are now based upon Papa's teachings, we are just entering into it. That is why we said after the 12 hours experience, we will jot down. And we will be definitely guided by whatever prompting comes within. Because later on, when we try to do that for say at least 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, then naturally we have to have all these. It is not merely sitting. Moral ethical values, first one it comes. Then the discipline comes. So unless it is extended even during the non-vipassana period, it will not become effective. But to begin with now, most of us are almost leading a righteous life, simple life. We are not trying to hurt anybody. Knowingly, we may not hurt anybody. Even an ant, suppose it is caught in a water, we will try to save it. So all those things are there in our mind. Luckily, God has blessed us with that innate tendencies in us. So this first attempt, let us see what all it taps. So many things it will unearth. And as far as possible, we will try to free ourselves from anything that is coming from outside, so that the resistance should not be there. We should feel comfortable, accepting the basic things like sitting for a long time, adopting our own inward journey method. So many things Papa has said. Now an opportunity comes to us to parade before us such teachings of Papa. That's why we said, we have brought out this inward journey, a few quotations of Papa. So that will be given to every participant. They will go through it intensely and try to absorb and try to move on those lines with the help of Ramnam mentally. So whenever there is a gap, we can immediately chant. We can devise some method. We are totally free. And why we are so silence is a must. Eye contact we'll avoid as much as possible. Minimum food, so that we don't feel sleepy, we don't feel the heaviness in our stomach. And very often we will have to get up and go. All those things can be arrested by simple food. And even then, most of us are not habituated to sit for longer hours. So every hour there will be a gap for 5 minutes. And there won't be any talk. Even during the time of distribution of food also, it will be silently. Silently we will do that. Silently we clean the plates. Silently we place it. Everywhere we will try to find out the silence as the base. This discipline we will try to go through that with a prayer to Him who has prompted us now to make it as successful as possible. Mauna helps you in calming the mind. When you talk too much, the mind is in a whirl. External Mauna gives you internal Mauna or stillness of the mind. Purpose of mind, Mauna is this. It is not mere mechanical control of speech. Stillness of the mind is essential in order to experience absolute peace and bliss. A wandering mind cannot see God. It must become still. Still the ways of the mind and see the Atman. After attaining the Atman, you see that all this is Brahman. Once the mind ceases to be restless, being free from thoughts and desires, that moment we are not individuals, but pure consciousness, which is at once cosmic and supercosmic in nature. Stillness of the mind awakens in us. Stillness of the mind awakens in us a consciousness which is full of radiance and ecstasy. Now we know that we are the truth, the eternal. Like that, so many quotations have been brought out in the small booklet. So many things will definitely go still deeper. Go still deeper into the realm of utter silence and stillness of your higher self and rise completely above the body. Come out of the state, and for you, the world outside will now stand transformed as the very expression or manifestation of God. Everywhere the light of God will dazzle your eyes. Even in the apparent diversity and activity of nature, you will strangely be conscious of an all pervading stillness and peace of the eternal, a consciousness which is unshakably permanent. And Papa also gives us one small incentive. It is quite possible in a congregation, your mind gets into silence and transcends multiplicity, and you feel there is nobody about you. In such a congregation, usually you will find some person who is advanced on the spiritual path and is unconsciously producing a holy atmosphere and sanctifying it, as a result of which it is easy for an aspirant to still the mind. Therefore, for self purification, it is rightly said that we must commune with the devotees of God who are constantly thinking of Him and who have attained some measure of peace and tranquility through union with Him. In such company, we find great help and our spiritual progress is accelerated. When the mind is silent, the power of your inner self reveals themselves. Then you maintain unruffled harmony in the midst of the so-called external conflicts and disturbances. The secret is to let the mind sink into your soul and lose itself. Since the mind disappears and you are established in their consciousness, you are always happy, calm, serene. So many such pearls of wisdom, are now readily available to all of us. Kindly think about all these things. And exactly 1 month is there now. Today is 21st June. Next is 21st July. How do you all feel about it?
Waiting, Swamiji.
Waiting, Swamiji. Waiting.
Waiting, very good.
Waiting.
Only one said waiting.
We'll try, Swamiji.
We'll try. Yes, then.
Swamiji, it is more helpful in sadhana, Swamiji.
It is more helpful in sadhana.
Then.
Papa will help us to do it, Swami.
Yes. Yes, then. Anything from anybody else?
Swamiji, I'm in a different situation. Papa has put me. He has put me in this, so he will help me.
Your voice is very muffled. Padmama, can you repeat again, please? Your voice is quite muffled.
I said, he has put me in a different situation.
He has put me in a different situation.
The kind of birthday party, etc. There's going to be commotion.
No,
I might have to wake up in my...
She can't
try.
wake up. She can't wake up early morning, something like that.
Okay.
No, I said I will have to wake up whole night.
For her it is.
Try in your own
She
way.
can do it 6 to 6 their time.
Try in your own way. It will become possible. When?
Hariom Swamiji. And Chennai Prem Nagar, we are discussed together and we will do it, Swamiji, on 31st.
Oh, not 31st.
Okay, we are
No, our very best.
21st.
Puri Martin, we will do it.
Very good. Anyway, tomorrow they are coming, We will also discuss with them. Mariappan and Karthik.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Then,
Yes.
She wants to say something.
Yes, Swamiji, I was saying that if we set an intention for ourselves, it will really help us. Like,
She's saying if we set an intention for ourselves, it will really help us.
so some sankalp of our own, like maybe, because that will set the path for that 12 hours.
Ashram, this is something we are trying for the first time. So naturally all these things will be there. It will settle down just with a few people. Here we will have quite a number of people. To make them to come all the way, that we don't know. That's why we said you be there. Today we went and saw even the rooms. First class rooms are there. At a time we can have to 30, 40 people in the room. Anyway, let us see how it shapes. You all kindly think about it. Spread this news to as many people as possible. We will also be sharing these thoughts through Awake, no? And Vision.
Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami.
Let us keep it aflame, no? Okay? Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai.
Yeah.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om to everybody.
Pranam, Swami.
Pranam, 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 pranam.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram, namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.